Hey, what's up, Shake and Bake Virgin Gang? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good today on something in my collection I feel like showing off is going to be this Eevee Power Bounce right here. I like a lot of the old school Pokemon toys. They're very nostalgic for me. The marbles, the figures, and the Power Bouncers especially. I had one of these as a kid. I'm pretty sure it was the Pikachu one. I took a string and I saw it right through the actual ball itself. It took a little bit. I got the figure out because I want to play with it. The figures are tiny. They're ridiculously small. Like the Eevee in here, it's being magnified like times 50 or something like that. It is a really, really small figure if you actually get inside that. The toys, I like them a good little bit. They're fun. This is Virginia's particular favorite one. I have a couple other ones laying around, but this was the one that gets shown because it is the favorite, of course. Hope you're having a good weekend. Hope you're having a good Friday. Going to be rolling to the gym after this. I don't want to, but I really need to. Hope you're having a much better time. Hope you're actually doing some of your plans, and I hope you actually are having a good time, responsibly, of course. Want to talk about something. I had a whole nother topic lined up, had a whole nother r slash pokey investing endeavor lined up, but this happened. I posted on Instagram, and this whole thing, a hamster is now moving in my head. A fucking new hamster is added to my brain. I've got another neuron firing off, and I want to talk about this while it was fresh. We'll talk about that other thing later. So I post on Instagram, right? I actually post some stuff. Some of you may know. It's over here. I post a bunch of different cards on there, like whether it be Japanese, Korean, simplified Chinese, a little bit of English here and there. Mostly Japanese because that's my actual collection. But I post some of my favorite cards. Post some things I like, post some of my favorite fucking arts because I think they're cool. I'll do pairings every now and again, do some themes. Just stuff on Instagram, right? For the Pokemon community to enjoy. That's what people actually do on there a good little bit. They show off some of the stuff from their collection, make a little short content, make cards, all the kinds of stuff, right? I posted this up right here. And this is my most recent one. And it's just one that I thought was kind of cool. It's some of the birds that came out recently. You got the Altaria EX, the Zapdos EX, and the Pidgeot EX. All of their SAR artworks. I picked these up actually recently. Some of the SARs are finally dipping a little bit in price. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to fucking stick my hand in there, grab a couple of them where I can. And I got a couple of these from members of the Pokemon community as well. I'll do a little bit of shout out for that stuff later. But I liked them. Asked what people thought about that stuff. And whatever. It's Instagram. You're still going to get some weird comments every now and again. But for the most part, people are genuinely like, oh yeah, cool cards and all this stuff too. And then people will do their own takes on posts you do as well. They'll leave their own opinions. It's a cool time. I like that kind of stuff, right? So this is going to be treated like a Voldemort scenario. This is like a she who shall not be named, the forbidden one type thing. I'm not going to bring up this person's name. That's all they want. That's all they really want from anything that happens lately. But I felt like this is important because once again, just something in my brain, like the chemicals changed. Now I just had a revelation. We're going to talk about it, right? So this person replied to this and said, "Do you know how to utilize any of these in the game?" To which you'll see me reply, "Sorry, hun, I'm just a stupid PokeTuber who rides their scooter all day to a job I don't work at." What this is referring to is this individual, I mean, that like we live rent free in their head. By we, I mean me, Cool Trainer Ryan, Vault, Rev, Deep Pocket Monsters, occasionally some of the other big. I don't even know why I'm in that little group. I'm not even anywhere near their shit, but somehow I get kind of roped in there too. But we just live rent free in this person's head, and they made a post where they were talking about how crappy these frat boy tubers are and stuff like that, and they ended it with like a really funny little blurb talking about the Virgin Gang, of course, and I wonder who they could be referring to with that. It's a fucking mystery, right? And then, people riding their scooters and hashtags and all, just stuff thrown at me that I thought was relatively fun. So that's where my little snarky remark came back. But here's where the neurons start firing off, right? So the big thing about that post that she did was she was talking major trash about some of the bigger PokeTubers who apparently don't know how the Pokemon TCG works. They don't know anything about the cards other than, wow, cool artwork. And to a degree, there might be a little tiny bit of criticism there that might have a little bit of merit to it. However, kind of when I started really thinking about it, I was like, okay, so this is referring to all those people. I know Cool Trainer Ryan knows how to play the game. I know for a fact he does. Deep Pocket Monsters, 120, 150% fucking knows how to play the Pokemon TCG card game. Danny Phantom, that's what half of what he talks about whenever he's talking about card values and like the playability of a lot of stuff. There's a good chance Rev knows how to play the game. In fact, I'm almost positive he does. I'm sure he's done it before. Maybe he doesn't do it all the time. Vault, I'm not 100% sure, but he has kids, of course. If he wanted to play the game, he has a 4th grade reading comprehension level, I'm sure. He could figure out what the cards fucking do, right? And that got me started thinking, like, okay, that's kind of a really shitty thing. And I thought about it a little bit more. Early in my YouTube career, my actual video content creation is actually probably on Instagram. I used to do that too. I used to be someone who was like, yo, if you don't even know how to play the fucking game, or if you don't know how to do any of this stuff, if you're just here to scalp, fuck you, bro. And for the scalper thing, 100%, I still stand by that. But it got me thinking because, like, she's going on my post and saying this stuff like she thinks I don't know how to play the TCG or anything like that. Look, I know how all three of those cards are valuable to the TCG. I don't know every fucking obscure deck combination or anything like that. Zapdos is still just being Zapdos, no retreat cost of the lightning energy, and great for bench damage on that stuff too. Altaria has a little bit of a healing Wolverine factor going, the 20 damage or something like that, and I think its ability is where it doesn't take any effects from an attack next turn. Like, it still takes damage, but like, say you'd be asleep or paralyzed or something like that, you are immune to any of that stuff if you use Altaria EX's attack. And then Pidgeot EX, I'm pretty sure is like the consistency of like people's decks right now. It lets you search for a card, put it in your hand, voila, there you go. You just get to look for any card you want in your deck, which is amazing. That is a fantastic skill that any deck can benefit from based off that right there. I don't even think people really use its attack. I think its attack lets it get rid of stadiums or something like that, does an okay amount of damage. But I know what these cards do. I know that they're relevant to the TCG. Pidgeot EX is just shaking things up, and it's relevant to Charizard EX decks as well as a few others. Look, I get it. I watch that kind of content too. But she doesn't think I know any of that stuff because I'm taking pictures, and it got me thinking, how many times did I do that to someone else too? Like, legitimately, that maybe, like, really knew stuff about the TCG. Maybe they hadn't played in a minute. Maybe they're just not veterans, right? Like myself, I haven't played the actual game in a little bit, okay? But I was defending Rebel Clash when it came out and other previous trash sets because of the cards being playable. Like, I remember Rebel Clash being extremely playable. Like, the Dragapult VMAX was incredible. The fucking Scoop Up Net was great. The Boss's Orders that everybody loves. Boss's Orders Giovanni. The first Boss's Orders came from Rebel Clash. And that is a staple in, like, decks still to this day because of how good it is. It replaced Guzma, and it was a better version of Guzma. I think it's like basically like what Lysander used to be back in the day. These cards are great, and they're playable, but at the same time, like, how many times did I do that to people? How many times was I just an asshole? And seeing this bitch do this to me when I know how the cards work, it got me thinking, man, I must have been a tool to some people. And it really takes someone just being that level of a douchebag for you to just, like, flip the mirror over and be like, wow, what a tool I probably was to a couple people who probably did know how to play the game. Just maybe they didn't because they don't have people to play with. They don't, they just don't have the time. They don't have the capability to do the online. You just never know anymore, right? It just got me thinking. And this complete asshole of a person I just got thinking, man, that's some shitty stuff because that's a really dumb comment. That's a really dumb thing to say just out of the blue, out of nowhere. And I've said it to some people and I've meant it, but it was purely because people were just like mad scalping and they said the player side of the TCG just did not matter. Like, this is only a money sport. This is all for money. No one cares about how to play the fucking game. Defending those guys. And I've defended the scalping of like the player prize packs and all that stuff, the play Pokemon ones. But seeing it like this and seeing this garbage and seeing this terrible person just like doing this kind of stuff because they can't get over the fact that Cool Trainer Ryan rejected them, like, it just really, it put everything into perspective. Like, the whole puzzle was complete. And to anybody I did that to anybody I was just a complete dickhead. Like I said, oh, you don't know how to play the TCG, you fucking tool, or something like that. I apologize. I genuinely do. I was a tool. I was a douchebag about that stuff. And you may not have deserved that at all. Just like this stupid ass comment that came out of nowhere for no fucking reason. And the continued comments this person keeps making for no fucking reason. Yeah, that's really what it is. I just wanted to put that out there, man. Like, the playable side of the TCG is amazing. You should pick it up. I should pick it back up. I really should. It's been too long. I really should pick up the TCG and try things out again. I know how the cards work and how to do it. Why don't I pick it up? I don't know. Just not people to play with here. I could probably do it online. I'm making excuses. I could just pick it up too. Hey, there you go. But I genuinely do apologize for anybody I was a tool like that to. And thank you to this person for fucking showing me how big of a douchebag I was by being an even bigger douchebag than actually I was. Wow. Great. You one-upped me. That's outstanding. That's really hard to do. I'm a tool. I'm a douchebag. And you one-upped me. Woo. That's a thing to do. That's all I got. Appreciate it, virgins. Yeah, maybe when we go to card party, maybe like see some people and play some TCG stuff. Maybe I'll get back into that. Maybe I'll talk to J-Love. Maybe I'll pick his brain or something. I don't know. Later, virgins.